Okay, there's issues on Zoom's end. It's not us, it's Zoom. Okay, so we're gonna start the whole thing, and for anyone that, I mean, you all know me, I think, but I'm not Biana Kovic, I'm Roberta Milman-Hyde, the president. So I know the word is, you know, it shows it, but that's because I'm signed in as her. Anyway, let's get started. Helene, you're muted, but it's nice to mute yourselves when other people are talking. When you're not, don't forget to unmute when you get ready to talk. Okay. I'm going to start from, I don't know if we're all reading it the same way, but Helene, did you want to start and tell us what you're working on?
Okay. Let's see whether I can get this so that you can see it. A few things. This is one. You see it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. You bring your camera down, or your phone a little bit down, or whatever your camera lens.
Let's see what I can do.
Or bring the picture up just a hair.
That I
just want to see the bottom. I just think it's pretty. So, what medium are you working in? Acrylic?
It's basically acrylic. Yeah, how's that?
That's fine. That's fine. What is it called?
I can't get it, but I've been playing with a name. Tell me what you think. Wait a second. My names are here someplace.
I have a tendency to see images and things. So I almost see like it's a kitchen, like a plates and everything in the kitchen in the background. And it's almost like an Xing it out, like not wanting to be in it.
No, I envisioned moons.
What are they?
What? And reflection of moons.
Moons?
Wow.
I playing with titles, awakening, awakening to a new norm. I played with Ad Astra. I see it as moons and reflections of moons.
It is beautiful. I love the colors.
Thank you. My things start out one way and sort of take over me. And they evolve into something very often that didn't start out to be, but that's okay.
That's the fun of it.
Yes, it is. That was part of a group that I did. There was another one that sort of mutated. There you go, you can get it in front.
Wow, that's quite a difference.
Stronger, but I like the fact that you use the circles or the with the strong vertical and I mean with the strong lines. You combine the two.
And this started out very muted, but sort of progressed.
Mm-hmm.
This was called brainstorm.
Ah, makes sense.
Like a storm in my brain more than.
Actually, that's not a bad one for Some Like It Hot.
Yeah.
I like it. Jennifer, you're still muted if you are talking.
You like better.
Well, depending on what you're doing, I love the colors of the other one, but we have that Some Like It Hot coming up, and that definitely to me says Some Like It Hot.
I agree with you, Roberta. Yeah.
It's the whole chaos of the hot, the heat against the coolness comes striking through.
Yeah, if you remember, I did another, which I call Sunmelt, which was in the show at Marco Island. I still have to pick it up, but it kind of evolved the way this one did, with very hot color.
Nice.
So I thought about the two of those in the show. And then part of this same series was something very different. Let's see whether I can stack it in front.
I was saying, you still have that painting down in Marco? The other one?
No, as a matter of fact, Beth has it. How is Beth?
Oh, I thought somebody was going to pick them up for you all.
Beth Beth was going to pick it up for me. She supposedly has it, but I haven't been able to contact her to get it.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a problem at the Marco Island end, because if there was, I'd work on it.
Not that I know of. You know, I don't get an answer from Beth. Is she all right? Nobody seems to know.
I spoke to Beth yesterday. She was fine yesterday. Yeah, we were talking. She's healthy.
Colleen, did you want to show off your mask that you worked on?
Oh, you want to see my mask? Okay. Anyway, this was also part of that same sort of thing I've been doing. And my mask. Okay, let me get it on for you.
What's your fascination with the moon?
With the moon? I don't
Mhm.
know.
Everybody has a fascination with them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
So here's my mask. Here's my outfit. Wait, I'll move back around.
I have a partner here, by the way, so I'm going to keep you on mute.
Aw. Oh, lovely. Oh,
I can't do that.
oh, so romantic.
Well, yes. Easter bonnet. Easter bonnet.
Oh, yeah, Easter bonnet. Wonderful. One of my favorite
Tea
holidays.
party mask, except you can't drink the tea.
What?
It's like a tea party mask outfit, like a Victorian tea party, except
Yes, so
No.
Victorian.
yeah.
It reminds you of pieces from the Metropolitan Museum, classic paintings. So, beautiful.
Okay, Pat, Patricia, would you like to go next?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. About my mask, I made a whole bunch for my extended family, and they're functional because they have Velcro on them. And inside is what protects you besides the fabric, which is non-woven polypropylene. And so I'm happy about them, that I feel like my family's protected a little bit better. And then for fun, I made coronavirus, which I use for something.
I did that.
Right. So this is my coronavirus face mask with my earring.
Oh, I like it.
That's wonderful.
Oh my God.
So that was fun, and I just introduced
Wow.
myself because
So
I
great.
have. I'm sorry, what?
I said that so beautiful, so great, that mask.
I used those little virus for another political piece, so it was a lot of fun. But that's what I do. I'm a social commentary artist. I'm new to the group.
Ah,
Right now, I'm working on a big series about violence in America. And I came downstairs because my studio is such a mess. And if you want, I'll show you a little bit about pieces that I do. This one is called Social Media Section. Let's see. I don't think you can see it very well, but it's actually a vacuum cleaner with people getting sucked up into a Facebook. There you go. And the other one is Cellular Skylines.
social media.
Our skyline has been of the world, and the two Earths cut in half. How our skyline has been dominated by cell phone towers. And I just wanted to explain a little bit, and I'm done, about, because my process is kind of weird. I dye silk, whole silk cloth. I have an extensive way that Muffy's probably familiar with. Dyeing, and then I dye an archival paper. And I put the paper over the silk and I sew it. And then I make the figurines out of both paper and felt and silk organza, all that I've dyed and dye painted. And then it's all stitched.
Did
So
you
it
do
has a real complex, layered feeling. And that's all I have for today. Nice to meet you all.
Patricia,
Did you do any batik in that? It looks like the figures are batik.
The figures are what?
They look like they're batik. Or did you just do a resist line around them?
It's kind of like a watercolor style, right?
What they are, Muffy, is, let's see if I can remember because it's been a while. They are, first of all, there's a layer on top of my dye painted paper. Underneath that is dye painted organza. For the shadows, it's other organza, and they're mounted on felt. And then they're mounted on netting. And then they're mounted on dyed
That's a lot of
paper,
work.
which is mounted on dyed silk. So yes, it's a lot of layers.
I would love
Yeah.
to see that. I would love to see that in person. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, nice to see in person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's incredible. Are you working on anything currently besides, you said you did those a while ago? Are you working on
I
anything?
did those a while ago. Right now I'm working on a series about violence in America. I have I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Sidney Byrne Davis Art Center.
Mm-hmm.
I have the whole center for October. I've been planning this for 3 years, and I have about, a lot of artists that I'm working with. And we're doing an exhibit called Women Take Issue. I've been working on it since 2017, so the opening and the reception is October 2nd. And I encourage you all to come. There's flag members from the other coast that will be in it. I don't know if anybody knows Patty Smith or Bo Wild, but they're two of the artists that are in it, plus artists from several other different states.
Right.
So we are women and we are taking issue.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You know what we have on Facebook? We have a member share page where it's non-NAWA Florida shows, and you can actually get on that page and advertise your show. So
Okay.
when you go to NAWA Florida, join our group, and then join the subgroup. You know, join our NAWA Florida page on Facebook, and then join the group NAWA Florida Members Share, and you can actually share your show. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, the
And
show
again, nice to meet you all.
will be actual.
Great.
Pleasure meeting you. Welcome to the group. Susan, you're next. Hi.
Hi, honey. Well, the only thing I'm a photographer, but the only things I've been working on recently are organizing my studio, which is behind me. And
Wow.
Wow.
I
Good.
have been scanning in, I'm up to 3,200 slides, and I have about 5,000 slides that I'm scanning in. So I don't really have any photography right now because I'm editing stuff that I've been doing over the last, 10 years, I would say. So I will have some photography to show next time. I did buy a mask, which I thought was kind of cute, the little doggy, which I thought was cute. But I also made a little one with, well, actually, it's a cigarette with earrings and a little lipstick and whatever. I haven't worn it in public. I'm kind of afraid, but
I love it. Definitely wear it in public.
A cigarette.
that's about it. Yeah.
You know what? That's not good stuff. Wear it in
Um,
public.
I enjoy seeing everybody's artwork and painting and that. And I also have been taking some online workshops, believe it or not, to get away from photography a little bit with encaustic and that. So hopefully in the future, I'll have some projects to show. I'm too embarrassed, right? You know, in the beginning, I want to get a handle on it before I show anything. But anyway, that's me.
You know the thing I noticed about us, our generation versus like the millennials, they don't care. They'll show the process. They'll laugh about it. They'll say, "Yeah, it's not ready," but they actually show the process. They don't care if it's not ready.
If I was in my dark
All about
room,
waiting.
if I was in my dark room, I could do that. But now everything's on the computer.
Yeah.
So you don't want to see my computer screen as, you know what I mean? So it's kind of difficult right now with photography. So, I mean, as far as that goes.
But your photography is
And
amazing.
I do my own mat cutting. I cut my own mats. I do my own framing. So maybe I'll show some, you know, how to do that. I don't know, whatever. A mat cutting can be difficult, but that's.
But your photography is amazing. If anyone hasn't had a chance to see Susan's work, it's ethereal to me. It's like just unique, and it has an ethereal feel to it. That's
you.
like storytelling.
Well, fortunately, I have a lot of series of work.
Yeah.
And one of my main series is News in the Landscape, which is very hard to exhibit because that is a specified, people don't mind it in paintings because it's not real, but it becomes photography, it becomes very real. So those shows that I'm in are selected shows that are strictly for that. But most of my other stuff is, landscapes, floral, lily pads. I do homeless people. I do people in nursing homes, and I do series of portraits and stuff like that. So that's it. Motorcycle gangs, I go down to the DC to the Vietnam Wall, and I do a lot of photography with the guys down there. So it's interesting. I enjoy what I do because I'm meeting the people that I'm doing, That's it. Next.
Wow.
Hey, Judith, do you want to go next?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys are reading it, but I'm kind of reading it in a, left to right.
Okay, I have a protest mask. It's probably you're seeing it in reverse, but it says "Old Lives Matter."
Mhm.
And,
I'm seeing it upside down is what I'm seeing.
is it upside down? Whoops, it's upside down. Thank you.
Now we're seeing it perfectly. Old lives matter.
Yay, yay, you're right.
Absolutely.
Yes, because I am very concerned about all the ageism going on and how disposable people feel older people are. And if I want to be dressed up, I have my face shield in.
I actually have a hat sort of like that. I've never worn it. Not since I was younger.
With the shield on it?
No, I'm talking about with the little leopard print I have from the soap.
Oh, okay.
Now may be the time.
Yes. Okay, and what I've been working on a lot. I was actually going to show a different painting today, but I just finished it and it's very thick and very wet, so I'm afraid to handle it, to take it from one room to the other. So the one I did right before that, but since our last meeting, I'm doing a series about the pandemic, the virus, but I'm also doing a series about illegal aliens.
Ooh.
Okay, now let me get back to that. Oops.
Wow.
No.
Is celebrating Lyra's first birthday on Earth. Now, what this is about, when I was a kid, I was in love with about aliens.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
When I was a kid, I was in love, maybe I can put it up here. I was in love with movies about aliens. Space aliens. So as an adult, when I started hearing about aliens and illegal aliens, people from Mars came to mind. And people from Mars are still coming to mind. So I'm doing a series about, this is my third one, I'm working on a fourth, about friendly aliens on Earth and how they should not be feared, they should be embraced. So this is our friendly Lyra. She's only been on Earth for a short time and her birthday's come around and this is, her friends are celebrating her first birthday on Earth.
Stay over here. Huh? You have to stay over here.
Excuse me?
No, I think we're hearing Jennifer in the background.
Oh.
Very nice. It's a unique, you always think out of the box, your work. It's a very interesting.
That's, so I've been sort of alternating between doing horrific paintings about the pandemic and my friendly alien paintings. Because balance is everything.
You really do think out of the box. I think it's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
I think the comparison of the friendly outer space aliens to go with the aliens, I think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
So we're all set, and you also have your mask you showed us, and we're going to come back to the mask and put them all on so I can take at least a screenshot of it at the end. Muffy, would you like to go next?
Okay, all right, let me turn my camera on. Okay. I figured this is the easier way to do it. These are 3 pieces I've been doing for what I'm calling my COVID series, but they are newsprint, Japanese or Chinese newsprint, dyed butcher paper, sashiko stitching, and paint markers. And I backed them, I glued them all to the butcher paper, and then I backed them with eco felt. So hold this up. See if I can get this here. Yeah, you can see there's the eco felt.
Huh.
But this is a piece I made last summer, and I wasn't happy.
I don't know what that is. Can you tell
I
me
wasn't.
what felt is?
It's eco felt is felt made out of recycled bottles. So that I just use it as a backing material. But the close up on this one, you can see the virus. I've made these stylized viruses. These are all stitched.
Where do you get eco felts?
You can buy it at Joann's. They have it in gray or white. See, there's the top. I did more stitching.
I think it's
What
wonderful.
do they come in large rolls?
Yeah, you can buy them by the bolt. They sell them in bolts. So I just buy a bunch at a time and then cut it to what I need. And then I laminate it to the paper with Misty Fuse.
What do you laminate it with?
Here's the I did that one last summer and added the embellishment recently, but this is the new one. I did these for the same piece of paper, and I ran out of the regular crochet and dye, so I was using grit for these. So let's see. Pull up close for this one. You see some details.
Wow.
And the diagonals are going back to Shibuya Crossing in Tokyo, which I went to see last year. But you can see there's more stitching here. This is all hand sewn. And then there's a Japanese neighbor. And then you can see the little viruses surfacing.
That is incredible. What amount of work?
A lot of work, yeah.
Year. So, yeah, but it's been a lot of fun. You know, I sit and watch TV. I've been watching a video called Big Love, and I've been stitching and painting and watching videos. It's been fun. So I've got enough paper left to do one more in this coloration. But I take sheets of newsprint and I'm the same paper with the red dye.
How did you say you adhered the newspaper to the that felt thing, that recycled?
Oh well, I've been using Misty Fuse, which
What is it? Say it again.
Misty, F-I-S-T-Y. The second word is fuse, F-U-Z-E.
Huh.
You can buy that.
Also at Joanne?
Sorry?
You get that also at Joanne?
You can, but it's easier to go to their website and, you know, type a search for Misty Fuse, because I bought it in a huge roll. And it's much more economical to buy it by the roll. Jane Dunwald, who's a famous fiber artist, turned me on to it when I took a workshop with her. And see some more.
And how do you do it, by heat?
So this one is using Chinese print. I'm actually gluing it on with matte medium. I'm gluing the newspaper to the butcher paper with a matte medium.
Okay.
And then I'm stitching on top of that. And then once that sheet is done, then I adhere it to the background. And the back of the fuse again so you can see it. See, I made, there's a strip there, so if I want to attach a weight to the bottom of the piece, I can do that.
Right.
But this is the gray Misty Fuse. They also did the gray felt, and then they have it in white. So I've 4 other pieces in this series right now with this indigo, and one's hanging up at Florida Craft Art in St. Pete right now, and the Contemporary Fiber in Florida show. And those pieces also have pieces of denim, torn up jeans and denim fabric adhered to it as well. And then I have the other 3 are hanging at the, up in Gainesville at the Quinlan Visual Arts Center. And if you go on their website right now, they show the exhibition. It's part of Southeast Fiber Arts Alliance Intertwined. And they had, I feel very blessed. They had, I don't know how many entries, but they only took 31, and 3 of the 31 were mine. So I was really thrilled.
That's amazing.
But I've just been having so much fun. So I needed a break from batik for a while, and this is my stress reliever.
I think it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
So that's mine.
And we saw your mask, right? You showed us the mask you're working on?
Yeah, I don't really, my mask is being worked on. So I'm a bad girl. I've got them coming. I'm not, you know, it's funny. I do the sewing for the pieces, but I've never been a seamstress. So whenever I have to do any heavy duty machine work or anything, I have a friend who's a seamstress and she does it for me.
I guess so, with my life.
So, yeah, I know. So instead I've ordered 3 masks from the Detroit Institute of Art because they were advertising these artistic masks, and I liked the idea of having Starry Night on a mask, and then the other one was the Hokkaido's Great Wave, the Hokusai Great Wave. So they're on order. I'm waiting for them to come in. I can't wait to wear those. Oh, so that's what I got.
Okay, Jennifer, would you like to go next?
Sure. Okay. So normally I would be in my studio, but as Roberta knows too, is that we actually had it was April 14th, there was a flood. So we had 5 feet. So it's very biblical right now from the pandemic. And then there's flooding. My building got saved, but we're not able to get into the building. All the galleries, there's 3 buildings. The galleries have been flooded, restaurants have been flooded. So I've been working from home. And to give
Jennifer, where's your studio?
Huh? Oh,
where is your studio?
My studio is in Boston. So it's SOA, it's the Art and Design. So if you Google Boston South End flood.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like at 11 o'clock at night. It was a water main flood. It flooded about a football field, 5 feet of water. Everyone is trying to stay in good spirits, but it's a disaster. It's like a disaster area. We're blessed though that our building, I only lost 2 paintings so far. So, but our building is fine, but no one's there. Like it's a ghost town. I went in there on Saturday and you couldn't.
Did you get your art out though? Did you get your art out there?
Well, I went on Saturday because we had a NAWA show actually in the building. Luckily it was on the 2nd floor, so the water didn't reach, but the woman was only coming for that weekend, and then she won't be back until July. And so now we have to worry about the fact there's no power, the heat rising for the summer, and basically cold. And it was like outbreak, because to get into the building, to get into the 2nd floor, you had to go through like a zippered thing. And I was like, oh my goodness.
I was gonna say, that's the worst thing that can happen, is that you'll end up with mold on the pieces, and any commercial paper and fabric, it'll destroy permanently. But even for the acrylics and the oils, look what happened to even like Da Vinci's Last Supper. It got into the plaster and it caused it rot from inside out. So it's a really bad thing.
And water could cause mold too.
Well, that's it, the mold.
It does, yeah, the foxing, and
that's what ruins it.
And as of now, they're hoping to have power by June 1st. And there's residents that live upstairs, so they've been out of their homes since the 14th. So it's even more. So I wanted to show you, Jonathan, give mommy a second. So I was gonna show you guys So I'm working on a residency right now. And what I'm doing is to give you a sense, the size of the paintings are going to be this size. They're going to be 60 by 48. They're going into judges' chambers. It's part of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's a 3-year residency, and it's all historic sites. I'm originally from Philly, so I was so happy to have gotten this before the whole pandemic started, and so it's kind of kept me occupied. And the first thing I'm doing is this piece right here is actually of the Wanamaker building. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's the home of the largest instrument, the organ, and it's 28,000 pipes. It's workable, it's beautiful. And this, Jonathan told me how much he would pay for this piece. So it started off actually 10 million, and then it got a little cheaper. It came down to 10,000.
Wow.
So Jonathan bidding.
Should be your agent. Tell him that he should be your agent.
I know, but this is actually how I always start. This is a departure for me because I've been really working with abstracts and figures, and so to work on historical buildings is a new thing for me. And right now, the judges haven't decided on what they're not sure about this tree, on what type of tree it needs to be. So the past week has been emails going back and forth if the tree should be fuller, if it should be shorter, what should be on top of the tree. These are the concerns of our judges. And then this is, sorry, this is the other drawing. So before I start any paintings, I always do it's an 18 by 20 water. It's on water paper, and I do a sketch. And this is another sketch of the organ. Jonathan, please give Mama 2 seconds, cutie. So this is the other. This is actually, I'm hoping they go for this one over the Christmas tree, personally. And
Why are you hoping that they'll go for that one over the Christmas tree?
please. I'm sorry?
Why do you prefer one over the other?
I guess because, you know, I grew up Catholic and Buddhist because of so I'm half Asian and half and Irish and Polish. So yeah, I just think like the main thing of the Wanamaker is really that organ, and it's so gorgeous, it's so powerful and beautiful. And to cover it up they do a 10-minute Christmas show during the holiday time, to cover it up and have this tree just seems so wrong. But unfortunately I'm not the client, so that's why I gave them 2 choices, and hoping that maybe we can blend them together, where at least we can, you know, have part of the organ and maybe have a little bit of the tree showing. I'm not sure, but they're deciding on that right now. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to hear from them. And the other piece that I'm working on is I started this series. Oops, I don't know if you guys can see it. So I usually use a black marker, and this is how I usually begin my sketches. And this series is called Knots of the Mind. And I'm really been interested in, since I'm half Japanese, I'm interested in the knot tying. So I'm going to be doing a series that's going to be all about knot tying the beautiful Simbari and how that is. So it's something that's what I'm going to do on. That's probably going to be a long series, but it's something I'm so interested in. And I just have so many ideas that you can go from it, where, you know, the idea of leaping, the idea of leaping, staying still, and then also the idea of the physical beauty of the knots, where it doesn't have to be so sexualized. It could be an empowerment on both sides. So it's kind of a departure from the judges' things, but it's something I'm going to have to do to keep myself sane, to do both in between. But that's what I'm working on. I didn't do a mask, so I apologize for that. Do you guys have any questions? Or I'm sorry I couldn't show you really my studio, because this is kind of just my home, and Jonathan kind of hanging on my He's got his own drawings and paintings too at home.
We'll have the future art salons here. We'll show us from your studio. That'd be great.
Okay.
Okay. So how about Nancy? Would you like to go next? I'm trying to remember how everybody joined.
Okay, I will. I have, okay, can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm so little. That's okay. But I'm trying to see where I.
Yeah.
Okay, how can I get bigger? You guys got huge. I don't know how to get your size.
I think it's because we're on computers and you're on an iPhone.
Oh, okay. My computer's upstairs. I didn't even think of, I did think of it. I didn't even try it to go on through the computer, which I should have. I haven't been working on the computer, but I have a new one. This is so, how would I, okay, flip, wait. How would I?
You're all right. Use the switch camera.
Use the what? Switch camera.
There's a little ring. It looks like a circle thing. Just switch it. Just click
On
that.
the upper left corner.
Okay, switch camera. It says REC on top. This is an iPhone 8 Plus. So
Where the camera icon is, if you click it, it will then use the outside camera as opposed to the one facing you.
okay, I'm gonna here zoom. Here's the camera. Oh, okay, got you.
Got it.
Okay.
All right.
Now we see everything you're looking at.
Oh, okay, you can see. It's a little. It has a mask.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just finished it last night. It's still stinking of epoxy, and well, it was the mask that I did a while ago, and I laid it. This is an N95 mask that I connected.
Oh, wow.
And this is like clay epoxies and little beads. Beads that I bought in Cape May in a bead shop that I glued into position. These are feathers. And it's called For Gloria. And this is, it's 22 karat gold leaf. So I like to work with gold leaves. I usually put them on metals, like on welded steel. I've been doing a series of that. So this is a tribute mask to my mother, For Gloria, who just passed of COVID. Yeah.
Sorry.
I've been blown. I've been devastated.
Wow.
So I'm really grateful that I saw this to get me moving and, you know, doing something in the arts, because I've kind of been like, I've been planning projects, doing half of them and not being able to work the way I want until this mask thing kind of set me up to, because it reminded me, you know, of my mother and all the losses that we have now, you know, during the COVID thing. So
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. So this is a tribute to her, For Gloria. And I don't want to sound morbid, but
No,
I have a lot of pictures of her on the respirator, which is a mask. And I want to do portraits of them, like fighting for her life.
Yeah.
More like abstract and realistic. Yeah, it's a little morbid, but this COVID thing is morbid, you know, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't get away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good healing to, I think, when we could do that, because it helped me when my mom passed. It helped me to get through it by dedicating the first 2 or 3 pictures that we started together to finish them. So
yay! Thank you. I'm glad. I'm happy about that. And I did. I have been working on this piece. This is like an ever-changing piece. It's like one of those. It was It was my hands, and I decided. I started off with it was a tribute to people, to the people, you know, who can't get into the country and need passports. So originally, it's my hands. And I had a passport in here. I don't have it. It's upstairs, hooked into, like, that's the key to getting into America, getting a passport. And I changed it recently to this, I think, because of my mother. I put the passport upstairs, and I linked onto what's happened to me in the last 2 months, a group show that I'm in. I have it inside the finger, like there are fingers of my hands. I have the group show like tucked into the fingers. And it says, I'm having a group show now, which is in Chelsea, and about 12 pieces. And the show is only up about a week and a half. We had the opening, and it's shut down for COVID. So everything is in the gallery. So I had to like put this in here to remind me to continue doing my art. And on the bottom of it, I have several medals, different religious medals. I think it has to do with, in tribute to the COVID, like spirituality. And it's about spirituality, different saints. Yeah, and these coins are angels. Some copper angels and a few saints. I have a rosary.
You got your finger in front of the camera.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Oh, yeah. I have a rosary in there. I have a picture.
Very nice piece.
Thank you. I have a picture that I'll be working on shortly, which is a photograph of the piece that I have in the gallery, and I want to make a painting of it.
Your hand, the hand is a plaster cast, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. It's a plastic cast of my hand. My two hands together, like almost just with the fingers up, hands movements, and it has a few rings on it. I was thinking of like, it's hard to see the rings. If you see it in person, you can. And it's on a piece of, this is like a piece of tile, which is a piece of tile that I bought that I liked, white tile. And it's the first of a piece. I like casting.
So this is sculpture. You said you do paintings too, right?
Yes, I do. This picture here is, okay, it is a piece. It is a photograph of a luminous oil pastel drawing that hung in the gallery in Chelsea, the Montserrat Gallery now that closed. And it'll be reopened. I don't know whenever they're going to get back to opening the art galleries. And I would like to work on the picture, this piece that I took a picture of. I don't have the original drawing. It's hung in the gallery, but yeah. So
this picture.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, do you do anything original? Any original pieces?
This is original.
Oh, it's your original?
Yeah, it's my original. I took a picture of my original.
Oh, I was confused by that. I thought you.
Yeah. The original is hung in the gallery.
Okay. So you're just doing like a second in a series, maybe?
Yeah, there were a few, exactly. It is the second. The first one is called Fallen Star. It's in the gallery hung, and which is a painting made out of golden paints. And this will be the second one on this easel here, the black easel, the black canvas. And I'm going to paint this on it. Not a collage, but I'm going to paint it. I'm going to start painting of the photograph that I took of the oil pastel. Yeah, it's a
theme. I get it.
Yeah, it'll be a theme. I have 6 black canvases, so I'll make a progression of these luminous pieces with golden paints. I have a bunch of golden paints that I bought.
I understand that. I know some mixed media artists that take their mixed media and then try to recreate it as a two-dimensional painting. So I totally understand the concept.
Of course, it's so simple. And I'm working on this. Oh, let me get my mask over here. Put it here. This is just, I've been trying to get to it for like, it's a drawing I made in Puerto Rico that I didn't finish, sitting on the seashore. And there was actually a tribute. It's about a spirit, the spirit being free. It's very simple. And it's 3 seagulls flying. I have to finish these and layer them and spray it down with new pastels and soft pastels. I like working with pastels, and they're fun. It inspired me to move into more, to move out of paint, move into painting more. I did so many of these, a series of them, and I have some in the frame. And now I'm able, transitioning into painting and sculpture.
Very good.
And that's about what I'm doing.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Joanne, would you like to go next?
Sure. Let me see if I can make the background what it really is. There. So this is my studio. I feel like I have, I'm probably more, I'm amazed at all that you guys have done, and honored by how much you've done that's COVID related. I seem to be in denial. So my work has not been about the virus. But as you know, and any of you who know me know that I'm a landscape painter and I paint the Florida landscape. And I have for 25 years. It's been my kind of what I do. So, and I thought to use this time at home. What are you actually looking at? I'm not sure. But I'm just showing you what's left in my studio right now. There's a big one. I have, just before this happened in January, I put 25 paintings in a lawyer's office.
Wow, that's great.
And so, and they were going to have receptions for me, et cetera, et cetera. So that is not happening, at least at the moment. But so I don't have my really good paintings here. But my response has been more, let me see if I can show you. I'm not too good with, I have an iPad in us, so it's a little wiggly. Can you see those? They're little watercolor postcards.
Yeah, just come down.
That I've been doing of little things and pretty things to kind of make me feel better. The things I find on my walk and things like that. And giving those to people who are helpers. So if somebody does something nice, like someone made us masks, I give them something like that, and with just a thank you on the back. So I've been doing that kind of thing. I can't seem to focus on the big things right now. And I've been doing owls. We have burrowing owls here on Mako Island. Oh, wow. And I've looked at them for years. So I've been painting the little owls.
Those are adorable.
So, and my goal, I thought my goal to, during this time that we have at home in this forced time, is I wanted to break outside what I usually do. I love the Everglades and I constantly find inspiration there. The light is always fabulous. There's always something new and there's something to do, and I never go without a subject. But I thought, you've been doing this for 25 years, get over it. And I can't get over it. But I thought at least I can maybe expand myself. So my newest thing that I've done this last couple of weeks is take classes with an online artist, Amanda Evanston. I don't know if but this is the work I started yesterday. Wow. So I started. It's of course, so it's very different than what I do. She does a lot of chaos and then builds on chaos, and it's very different from looking at the landscape. Excuse me.
Can you hold it up again, please? I want to see it.
I don't know if you can see it well.
We can.
It's still very dark.
Yeah, beautiful colors.
Yeah. It's still very dark. This is layer 1 out of what I hope will be many more to give it depth.
What's the material?
Yeah, it's different. It's on paper instead of canvas, and a lot of using fingers and other things and marker and just kind of trying to get looser and feel it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I
Acrylic or oil or?
Excuse me, that's Lucy. And it just let me make sure someone's not at the door because Michael's gone out. No. Okay. Yeah, someone is, but it's not anybody. In addition, Michael, who I think you got a glimpse of when he came into the room, has been doing a podcast. He's a writer. He was a surgeon, retired, and is now doing a podcast about his first book. So if any of you have any interest, I've been really helping him get that set up. So it's been a lot of computer work and list making and all kinds of, you know, helping things. But he's made a podcast called Making the Cut, and you can find it from Making the Cut podcast. It has a surgeon's knife on the front, but it's the story of his demons, I guess, and his medical training in London in the 60s. So it's pretty good, I think, if you need something to amuse you.
Joanne, on the
Yes.
experimental portrait you're doing, what medium is it?
Acrylic. Acrylic, it's got right now some marker on it, and it'll have some chalked layers and things like that before I'm done.
Okay. And did you work on a mask too, right?
No, I have only my mask that was made for me.
Okay.
So I have not worked on a mask, and I didn't really know I was supposed to because I missed last time. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was on the emails also. So if you read the emails, I always have everything in there. Anyway.
Yes, you do, Roberta. Thank you.
So you can't say it wasn't said.
No, it was.
And I've always been, the only thing I've ever been accused of is repeating myself too many times.
Joanne, will you do
That's
more?
okay.
Joanne, will you do more of the experimental work, or?
Yes, I will. I seem to have the time right now, and so I don't know where it'll go. I don't know how it'll translate when this is over and I'm back out in the wild. We'll see.
Very good. I guess it's my turn. And
Thank you. It was great.
thank you. I haven't been doing much painting. I mean, I have my one piece I have in the background, which you'll probably never see, but I do always a piece that I think my husband will like, because he doesn't like it when I do things that are just too modern. So I do something pretty for him. So there's the peacock.
Yay.
I've been working around a house.
Beautiful. I have peacock earrings.
What's that?
I love feather.
I've been doing.
I have peacock earrings.
What's that? So it says.
I have peacock earrings.
Oh,
this is neat.
Yeah,
love peacock earrings.
These little vases. I've been making vases for my studio. I mean, not my studio, my outside. I did the renovation, so around the pool, I want to get some orchids and stuff to plant inside of them.
Oh, wow.
And, so I just made about, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 4 of them. And, they're on the columns in my back, right across the back wall.
That's gorgeous. What is that? Are they stones in there?
I like to call myself the queen of taking garbage and making it into something. So I
love that.
My picnic table that was outside exploded today, and all the what do you call that glass that doesn't supposedly shatter, but it goes into like tiny pieces. So
wow, it's great.
These tiny pieces. My husband was good enough to understand how insane I am, so he gathered it all up, put it inside a bucket.
Yeah, I salvage glass too. I put them in bags and for collages. The shattering of it.
Nancy, can you flip your phone around so we can see your face when you talk?
Oh, okay. I'm so bad at this stuff. Okay.
Here
we go.
There you go. We have the tile. I use the tile on the plaster, and I use wire. You know,
love plaster,
of course. And I wrap it, and I use the plaster stucco that I had from the house because we just finished renovations. Basically everything you use in renovations. I even use the wire was too hard, so I used screen around the wire to help bend it. So And I use, like I said, I used a little bit of concrete mortar, then I did with sand, and then I used more to make it. So it creates that.
With layering, so thick it looks delicious.
Yeah, actually, it's not too heavy because I did use the lighter wire, so it helps.
It's a beautiful piece.
Thank you. So that's what I've been busy with, things like that. I'm still going to be doing tile pieces for in front of my house. People think, well, I painted the house all white, so it's like the White House now. But it's what it was. I didn't want any of the trim or anything because I wanted to do more colorful pottery and tiling work, and so I want the house to be the backdrop. Yeah. So I was going to work on a large piece of empty space. You know what? You know what they say about artists when they see an empty space, fill it. So,
oh boy.
So there's an empty space underneath my window, like a dome window, and I'm going to try to create a tile piece for that. I like tile. I can't help it. I've always liked taking the messy stuff that breaks apart and falls apart, not the clean stuff, but the stuff that you piece together and make it beautiful. Even though you're starting with ragged pieces and jagged pieces. That's my favorite thing to do. So anyway, I started out by making a mask like we're supposed to. And this is how I do animals. Let's see.
I think that's funny.
That's great.
Yes. Anyway, I started doing that. And then I said, okay, then I kind of got obsessed with it. And I started saying, well, I'm going to make myself some, I call it my coronavirus, my COVID or COVID-19 armor. So I call this like my armor for it. So I have things like that.
Oh, wow.
And I
That's great.
Cool.
That's nice. Yeah, and I use my stuff from, like I said, renovations. I use, let's see, I have it with the metal from, like, you use grates. I have that.
Oh, yeah. And I see the grates.
Material for that.
What's the lips made out of? The lips.
The lips are made of screen, and then I just use some glue, and I use a type of a metallic kind of a powder, and I just put that in. And because I used to make money doing vendor shows with jewelry, I made myself some coronavirus earrings. I don't know if you can see them. They're like my little COVID earrings.
Oh, little COVID. Wow, they're beautiful.
So that's my little theme of jewelry. Virus hanging on you. And then, so I have that going. And then I said, okay, well, I told my husband, goes, what are you doing? So I said to him, I'm making our I figured every kind of party you go to today is going to be a masquerade party. So I'm going to make him one too. So I made him one here. And that's his.
Oh, wow.
The COVID,
I love the beard.
Got a little beard, and he's got little.
Great. What's dangling there? What are those?
His little beard. My husband actually has a mustache, but the mustache looked funny, so I did a beard.
The COVID beard.
A little goatee.
Yeah, a little coronavirus beard.
Cool.
Did the same thing, same materials. And what else? Come on, look at that. And then I was talking to my nephew. Sorry, I got allergies, so my throat's been dry.
2 days. The pollen is insane.
Yeah, I was talking to my nephew, and we were talking about how in this day and age with the coronavirus, that with all the masks, there are people that can't even, if you're hard of hearing and you depend on reading people's lips, this would be a nightmare for them.
Yes.
They go out there, they have no way of understanding what you're saying. So if you don't know sign language, so what I did is it says, I made one that says, read my lips.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You can see me when I'm talking to you.
That's great.
What is wrong? Hello.
Wow, that's
Yeah, wonderful.
And it still has the COVID earrings or the COVID design, but it's read my lips. I call it read my lips.
That's
So cool.
I'm obsessed. I end up doing a series of everything. So here
I'm glad you're doing the COVID thing.
Yeah.
It makes me it can be very creative.
Like I said, and times
Wonderful.
when times are bad, artists always shine through with something. You know, we work through our problems, we work through our depression, we work through our happiness, our emotions, we work through everything through our art. So this is natural to us. What the people that are probably having a worse time are those 9 to 5, you know, button down,
Yeah.
white collar people, because we're fine. If you notice, the TV is loaded with people doing no problem on Zoom. There's musicians, there's
Yeah, I know.
it's not good. It's the ones that are not used to this having a problem. So we're good.
The other thing as artists too, we're used to working long hours by ourselves.
Yes.
I think that
And a lot of us are happy doing that. If you think about it, the reason we do this, the reason we join things is because we want to have a connection that normally we're totally happy not doing, but we find it actually more enriching when we do it. So it's almost like a catch-22. We're happy being alone, we're happy creating, and at the same time we know that we come away from these group things with an aha moment. I could do this, or I might try this kind of medium, I might do this. So I think what we're doing is healthy. If we get more people who are not as comfortable on the computer to come back out of their studio and do this work and share, we're all kind of learning, even if it's a little bit. And we're never going to copy anyone because it's not our nature. Our nature is to create. So it's fine. It's always going to be good. So I want to do a picture of anyone that did a mask. Put one mask on.
I'm just gonna put some.
We'll take a picture.
Okay, I'll go back in my other
Screenshot of the
studio.
picture.
Where is it?
I'll do mine here.
I'll put mine on. It's not homemade. I'll put it on.
Hello. Okay. I'm going to take a screenshot, but I'm also going to take a picture of all of us when we're done. Let me just make sure I have my camera on. Now I got glitter on here. Okay. Okay, first, I'm going to take a picture. Oh, where did you go, Nancy? You got yours?
Oh, here I am.
Did you want to put your mask up to your face?
Okay.
I'm going to do one like this just to back up my, just in case. Trying to get glares out. And then I'll take a screenshot too. Here. Oh, small for the screenshot.
I am. Big smile.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it that way. So let me try this way. 1, 2, 3. Cute. And one more time. Smile. All right, so it's been wonderful. And I can't get it off.
Roberta and Jennifer, about the upcoming exhibit.
Yes.
Is that when you say it's a virtual exhibit, is it, it's all online? And when you said find a place, so I'm a little confused. Is it an online exhibit or do we?
No, online, it's online, but there's a lot of host sites out there. So this host site we're using for it will be called exhibit.com. And it's basically, it looks like a virtual exhibit. We'll be able to you'll be able to virtually walk around the gallery and go from one room to another. And we're all learning. This is the first time for me to do a virtual exhibit, especially if I'm trying to help manage. I'm going to be asking if anyone wants to help me who's good on the computer to help me out. But otherwise, this is kind of what we're going to be doing for a while, because even though I know that the locations want to get together, you put a reception together, we're all sharing glasses and we're all sharing the same space. It's going to be really hard to make that a safe environment. So I think you're going to find that there's certain areas that will be considered non-essential and they're not going to let us come together. But Pat, you have to turn off, you have to unmute Pat. Pat.
I was going to say, Judith?
There.
Yes.
Can you hear me? I have 2 questions.
Oh, sorry.
I have 2 questions about current music exhibits. I have a piece at the NAWA exhibit at the library in New York City, and I'm imagining they're not going to be open.
No, then I get not. Yeah, I know. I've been reading the prospectuses.
Okay, the other one is that the Fusner Museum in Melbourne got extended. Is there any chance that that exhibit will be open?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know.
Patricia, you heard that the Ruth Funk Museum got closed.
I did. And Carla, who is, I understand, not Ruth's daughter, Carla Funk, but she's associated with both museums. And I was hoping maybe the Fusner would therefore, you know, if they made a choice, maybe they had to close the Ruth Funk, but they would keep the Fusner, which I don't understand its association with technical college, because it's not on the campus, but apparently there's some association. But at any rate, my question is since they extended it to July 25th, is there any chance it would be open?
They might be, because I heard today they were starting to open up some of the college campuses.
Okay. And I was very sorry to hear about the Ruth Funk Textile Museum.
That was horrible.
Yes, it was.
What was that?
Beautiful building.
The Ruth Funk Museum, it's gorgeous. It's at the FIT campus in Melbourne. I was hoping to try to get a show in there at one point.
So Jennifer, you were saying?
Oh, I was just saying that for our upcoming show for Some Like It Hot, to South Carolina's website, Kate put together a virtual show to give you a sense of what the show will look like, but each chapter will have a different room. So when you submit, you'll get a question that says which chapter you're from, and that kind of helps us out to do and things like that.
Now,
It's really done.
Would we be shipping paintings, or is it just the images?
It's all virtual. It's all virtual. I mean, if you sell, you're gonna have to ship it to whoever. But
we'll go into the details, but when you ship, we were given permission by Biana that NAWA said that they have that Blue account that we can actually, the artists can actually call up, get that, or use that number to be able to ship their art, and then NAWA will charge them for that shipping. That'll leave it a lot less chaos for people that don't know how to go about doing that. All they have to do is make sure it's in a package or box and or get the artwork out. And it's a lot simpler because as much as you're on here and you're all doing great and all that stuff, there's probably 10 people more that of each one of you that don't know what they're doing or are very confused. So we try to keep it possible.
Simple.
Okay. Is there anything else? Like I said, I'll be sending out more information about the show and details. I know that we could start the entries, you know, start today, start tomorrow, whatever. And
right now,
I'm gonna have to start the piece. So I mean,
have fun with it too. I mean, this is supposed to kind of be. It's really, you know, do a piece that's something outside your box, and it's just a fun thing. It's I mean, Roberta, Kate, and I, we all met each other in Miami, and we just adore each other, and we're excited to be doing more collaborations and things. So definitely have fun with it.
Yeah, it's all fun. Like I said, it's a meeting of minds when you come together. And this is, I had the funniest one that I heard from this one guy. This one guy complained the place was like a prison, you know, being on this coronavirus. And another person came back and said, I was listening, he says, well, if it's like being in prison, then think of yourself as when you get released, did you learn something, or are you going in the same way? So if you're spending this time learning new techniques, learning new ideas, trying different things, then you're coming out better than when you went into it. So this could be actually a great experience. Think of it that way.
So true.
So,
Yeah. Shakespeare wrote King Lear during the plague.
Exactly.
That's it. Look at that. I never
this comes. Okay, well, it's been great. I know it's a little short. If anyone has anything else to say, please let me know. And, you know, otherwise, I think we're done with Art Salon. You guys were wonderful. And
Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, everyone.
So much.
Yeah.
thank you.
I joined.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Have a great rest of the week.
You too.
You too.